Present.
Doug?
Here.
Brian?
Here.
April?
Here.
Tom?
Here.
Vicky?
Here.
Lisa?
Here.
All present. Okay, now we're going to have public comment for this hearing for the resolution. I'd like to read a reminder before we do. Individuals appearing before the board to participate in public comment must identify themselves by name when called upon and begin to deliver his or her message to the board. The customary time allowed is 2 minutes. Conduct oneself with respect and civility toward others. Questions, concerns, or praises are to be directed to the board as a whole and may not be put to any individual member of the board or administrative staff. The board typically does not engage in two-way conversations during public comment portion of the meeting. Any follow-up response will be addressed by the administration at a later date. We welcome your public comments and appreciate your cooperation in following these procedures. Thank you. So now we'll open public comment with John.
Yeah, I want to talk about your public comment policy in particular. What I understand what you just read is listed on the agenda. 2 minutes per speaker. But when you go to your website and look up policy number 2.230, it specifically says comments shall be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. You can't change your comment policy on the fly. It's what's written, approved, and established is what is in your board policy, not what is on your board agenda. The other item I have on your public comment policy again deals with what you just read, but not addressing individuals by name. And I understand at the last meeting the person was forced to cut short her time to speak because she wanted to talk about Doug. I understand that to be Doug Baird, a board member. I really think you owe her an apology because there's nothing in the state law that permits you to keep any person from talking about anybody using their names. Board members, staff, teachers, students, anybody can be mentioned by name during public comment at a board meeting. And I don't think you have the right to cut anybody off, and I think you know that. If not, you should probably check with your legal counsel. Are they here tonight?
No, sir.
So for this portion of the meeting, that's all the comments I have. Thanks.
Next is Kirk Allen. The last one was John Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Kirk Allen. It's Kirkallen. I want to echo what Mr. Kraft said, and I want to emphasize why this is so important from a First Amendment standpoint. Have any veterans in here? Anybody, any family members that are veterans? Our Constitution is very important, and one of the first things is our First Amendment and our right to address our government, and that includes our public officials. Any public official, by name. When you run for office, you run by name. And to restrict people to say they can't address an individual board member is just flat wrong. And there's numerous Attorney General opinions on that in regards to checking with their legal counsel. If they tell you otherwise, we'll be happy to send you a boatload of AG opinions that outline you can't do that. It's restricting the content of a person's speech. And I would encourage that you take a hard look at the policy and abide by, you know, both our Constitution and state law. I know a lot of times we get tied up with what state laws and guidelines are, but let's not forget our First Amendment right. It's a federal right, and it shall not be infringed. That's all I have on this public hearing portion. Thank you.
That concludes the public comment for the hearing, for the transfer of funds. Okay. Next on the agenda is
I move that we adjourn
I second
the
it.
hearing.
we have any discussion further on that? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.